Today's Tips du Jour mailbag question comes to us from Germany. Robert, I want to install a strap button on the heel of my guitar. What advice can you offer? Carlos in Germany. Yeah, it does indeed say Carlos. That doesn't sound like a German name, but thank you very much for your question, Carlos. There are several things you want to look out for, and there's a certain way to do it. I've got one on the bench right now. I'm getting ready to install a strap button, so let's go take a look. So Carlos, here's the guitar that's going to get the strap button. This is a 1943 Martin 0018. And the first thing I did before the client left after dropping it off was to mark the exact location of where he wants that strap button. The placement of the strap button is a very personal thing, so make sure that you get the client's input of where they want it. In this case, I put a piece of masking tape on there, have them mark a clear X, so that is where it's going to be installed. There's going to be no question about where that thing's going to be installed. Nothing worse than having it installed in a place where the client doesn't like it. So make sure that you get his input about where to put it. The next thing I'm going to do is take a magnet and rub it over the area where I want to install the strap button. Now, this is an old Martin. I know that this is a dovetail and there's no metal in that joint. However, there are other types of neck joints, bolt-on mortise and tenon, for example, that employ hardware in the joint. And you don't want to screw in or drill in to some of that metal or hardware that's inside the joint. So I know that there's nothing in this joint though, but make sure you check that. Next, I'm going to take the screw that's going to be used to hold the strap button in place and measure it with my calipers. I'm trying to measure just the shaft, not the threads. And in this case, I'm coming in just a skosh over 3 millimeters. When you drill a hole, you want to choose a drill bit that's just a little bit smaller than the actual thread size. If not, you run the risk of cracking the heel. Technical term for that is bad. You want only the threads to grab. Next, I'm going to take a piece of mahogany. It's the same species as the neck wood. And I'm going to drill a hole just to check and make sure that I've got the right size drill bit. Now I'm going to put the screw in it to make sure that that is indeed the right size. And that appears to be going in fairly easily. Next, I'm going to take a spring-loaded punch. I'm going to put it right on the spot that we've marked for the location and get me a little pilot hole. Before drilling, I've marked with a piece of masking tape on my drill bit how deep I need to go. Now remember that once you place the strap button on here, the depth really is not as much as the entire screw. So don't go too deep, and then mark it on your drill bit. Here we go. Now with the hole drilled, we're pretty well committed, so I hope you've done everything right up to this point. Come in with a screwdriver, place it in there, and there's no need to snug it up tight. Just lightly bottom it out. That's all it takes. There we go. We now have a strap button installed. So Carlos in Germany, thank you very much for your question. Now there are a few things that can go wrong when you're installing that strap button. However, with this information, I think you should be able to do it right. And happy building.